Hi, in today's video, I take this ugly thrifted desk and turn it into a beautiful swan. And I'm going to use this as my inspiration. Along the way, I have to solve the mystery of this self-opening drawer. Just wait for it. Hi, I'm Anne. I take my love of DIY to create pieces like this. Welcome to Misty Glen DIY. It's got this sticky tape all over it. It looks like someone tried to keep the drawer from popping out. Maybe that was just in transit to the Habitat for Humanity restore. And it's got some tape here. It's got some dings there. And you know, when I first got this piece, I thought it was a veneer, a very thin veneer. But now that I look at it, I think it's actually not veneer. I think it's actually laminate, some kind of like thin papery sort of picture of a wood over top. And it's got spots where I'm going to have to glue down or sand off that laminate that's peeling up. It got to the point where I couldn't get the tape off very easily. I was using Goo Gone and my scraper, and so I decided I also wanted to figure out whether this really was a veneer or if it was maybe a solid plywood or a laminate, and I decided to use my carbide scraper. So that's what I'm doing here. Hate that noise. At about this time, I discovered this photo from Pottery Barn, and I really liked the look, and I wanted to have that for my office makeover. So I skipped the old inspiration piece, and I'm now using this. Sanding swirls.
Could the drawer mystery be as simple as the desk being on an uneven floor? I'm using Valspar cabinet paint again. I used it in a previous project and I wasn't all that thrilled with it, although I thought it was okay. This time I'm using it in the semi-gloss sheen. And since I sprayed it last time, this time I'm not sure what I should apply it with. So I'm testing different application methods. I used a zebra synthetic brush first. Now I'm using a microfiber roller, and then I moved on to a velour roller, which ended up being the winner, as well as this Worcester palm brush. After I had applied the paint on the one test side, which was the back of the desk, I thought it went on a little thick, so I added some water, but it turns out I really didn't need to do that.
This is what it looks like after the first coat. It may have what looks like texture, but it's smooth. So I'm pretty impressed with how this paint did quite self-level. And this spottiness and incomplete coverage is to be expected with the first coat of many types of paints like this. So I'm not worried about it. It'll be taken care of in the second coat. Even on this side where I thought I had lots of drips, they self-leveled. They really did. So I'm really impressed with this paint. Now I'm going to sand it with a 220 sandpaper, may actually go to 400 sandpaper, and onto my second coat, which I think I'll do off camera. Okay, this is at the end of the second coat, and these are actually drips that I can feel. So unlike the first coat where they really dried flat, I'm going to have to sand these out, and I'm going to have to do another coat because, as you can see, it's still not opaque. Before moving on, I want to give you a preview of a design feature I'm adding to the legs to just amp them up a little bit. I'm not going to go through all the details of how I got it done. This is just a little preview. If you want to know how I did it, I'm thinking of doing another video, separate video just for that. So leave me a message in the comments letting me know. I'm using General Finishes Gel Stain in Nutmeg. It's an oil-based stain, and this is the first time I am ever using it. The color I chose because it came highly recommended, or actually Angie from Transcend Furniture Gallery uses it a lot, so I have confidence I'm gonna like it. This is after I smartened up and realized that I could open the top and not have to worry about getting paint on the edges or the other parts. This is after my first coat of polyurethane. I really kind of goofed up think I had some, oh, this one right here, that one. I'm gonna need to sand that out. Yeah, not a really good job. I kind of didn't really look at it in the light and was rushing a bit. Yeah, here's a couple more. So I'm gonna have to sand a bit more than I wanted to sand, and I missed some spots. If you're enjoying this video, please like or comment. It really helps my small channel and tells YouTube this is a video to recommend to others. I also ask you to consider subscribing. Subscribing is free. All you need is a YouTube account. Okay, do you see this? Do you see all these snowflakey kinds of things? Well, maybe they're kind of cute, but it wasn't the look I was going for, obviously. And I'm surprised because I followed somebody's instructions, and I've used this polyurethane before with great results. You know what I'm going to be doing for the next 20 minutes or so, don't you? Okay, I'm trying to decide what to use to apply the top coat next. This is what I used for the first. I used a foam brush. It was pretty good, but I was rushing, so I had those kind of stop and start marks, and so I can't tell whether this really worked or not. But I'm not going to go back to it. This is what I used for the second coat. Just total disaster. I'm trying to decide between these two. I think I've used this before for water-based top coat, and kind of came streaky, kind of came out streaky, but a lot of people use this. It's very popular. It's a sponge. You'd kind of tap into the stuff, and then it spreads a nice thin coat. And then I know I've used this before on a table that I did. It's from Minwax. No, I'm not sponsored, and it's like lamb's wool. And the table I did came out really nice, so I'll probably go with this. Really not bad. I see a few hairs in it, which I didn't think were supposed to happen, but I can get those out when it dries. I'll just do a little sanding of that. But that took no time at all, and it went on really nicely. Yeah, so this did not go well. I spent about a week trying to figure out what to do and doing various things. I got hairs in it, so I had to do another coat. I did it with the sponge and I got streaks. I watched YouTube videos on the proper application of oil-based polyurethane. I went out and bought a $40 brush following one of those YouTube videos, and I just got more bubbles. I got blotchy parts, I got lots of particles. I tried to use a method of wet sanding it, and that just took the finish off, and I needed to put on another coat because I wanted a satin finish. Finally, what I did was I thinned out the polyurethane and I wiped it on with a paper towel. It still had streaks, but I just kind of gave up because I just couldn't work on it anymore.
The drawer really wasn't as simple as the desk being on uneven ground. So I did some inspection of the railings and saw that they were loose. What that needed then was just a couple of screws, one on each side, and it was worked like a champ. Just to remind you what I started with. Here it is now.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what you think of the tapered legs and the leg feature. I'm going to post a picture of this desk in its home in my new office space, but not yet. That'll be sometime in the future. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, thanks. See you next time.